Hold on tight because the hip-hop world just got flipped upside down. Drake, the so-called certified lover boy, has officially ripped the gloves off. And this time, he's not just taking shots in a song. No, he's dragging entire empires into a battlefield that no one thought he'd dare to touch. Forget subliminals. Forget petty bars. This is a full-blown legal war, and the names tied into it are shaking the very foundations of the industry. Sources claim Drake's legal team has filed documents so explosive, they don't just mention his longtime rivals, they directly call out Roc Nation, Jay-Z's legendary powerhouse and Kendrick Lamar's own PG Lang, the label that's been climbing into the throne room of rap royalty. Think about that for a second. Two of the most untouchable names in the game, suddenly dragged into Drake's lawsuit. Nobody saw this coming. Not even the insiders. And here's where it gets darker. Whispers are saying these papers don't just accuse, they expose. Alleged backroom deals, sabotaged contracts, and secret alliances that paint a picture of hip-hop as a war zone where loyalty means nothing and betrayal is currency. But the question is, why now? Why is Drake risking everything to go after Roc Nation and PG Lang at the exact same time? What triggered this meltdown? And what secrets are about to leak out of those court filings that could destroy careers forever? Stay locked in, because once I tell you what's inside those confidential documents, you won't believe who's about to burn. For years, Drake has carried himself as hip-hop's smooth operator, the global superstar who could win with charm, wit, and a few subliminal bars. But behind the glamorous OVO empire and chart-topping singles, there's been an undercurrent of bitterness boiling beneath the surface. And now that bitterness has exploded into something darker, something no fan or critic was prepared for. This war didn't start overnight. No, it's been years in the making. Whispered beefs, tense award show encounters, subtle jabs hidden in lyrics, and business deals gone sour. To understand why Drake has just launched a lawsuit that drags Roc Nation and PG Lang into the mud, we have to rewind the clock and look at the tangled web of alliances and betrayals that's been choking the industry. Let's start with Roc Nation. Founded by Jay-Z, this powerhouse label has always been the fortress of industry power. To be signed under Roc Nation, or even to partner with them, is like receiving the king's blessing. But what happens when the kingmaker himself is accused of tilting the chessboard? Rumors have long swirled that Roc Nation has its hands in almost every major deal in the game, from endorsements to sponsorships to exclusive tour rights. And if the whispers are true, Drake has been side-eyed by Roc Nation for years, tolerated but never truly welcomed into the inner circle. On the other side sits PG Lang, Kendrick Lamar's brainchild. A cultural movement disguised as a label, PG Lang has quickly become a beacon of authentic artistry. Kendrick and his team have positioned themselves as the anti-Drake. No flashy gimmicks, no TikTok dances, no overexposed pop collaborations. Just raw artistry, deeply rooted in storytelling and community. And fans, they eat it up. To many, PG Lang represents what hip-hop should be, while Drake is painted as the polished commercial superstar. That divide has fueled endless online wars between fan bases. And then there's the Drake versus Kendrick rivalry. It's the undercurrent that refuses to die. Diss tracks, subliminals, interviews laced with shade. Every year, fans dissect lyrics, searching for hidden darts. And though both men have denied serious beef in public, insiders whisper about backroom conversations, blocked festival slots, and sabotaged deals that paint a much uglier picture. Now imagine all of these tensions colliding in the cold, ruthless world of legal warfare. That's exactly what just happened. Drake's lawsuit didn't come out of thin air. Sources close to the OVO camp suggest that Drake has been pushed, cornered, and humiliated one too many times. Deals allegedly snatched out of his hands. Tours blocked. Sponsors choosing Kendrick over him. And at the center of it all, papers that link both Roc Nation and PG Lang to strategies designed to undermine Drake's empire. Think about the stakes here. This isn't just a rapper suing another rapper. This is Drake, one of the most powerful artists in the world, putting his career on the line to call out two titans of the industry. If his claims are true, this lawsuit could expose a network of hidden deals and shady partnerships that the public was never supposed to see. If his claims are false, it could destroy Drake's credibility forever, branding him as paranoid and desperate. And here's where it gets even scarier. The lawsuit filings, according to insiders, include emails, contracts, and leaked financial records. If those documents see the light of day, they could not only crush relationships, but also spark federal investigations into how money flows in the music business. We're talking about potential racketeering whispers, antitrust claims, and collusion that goes way beyond hip-hop. But what was the final straw? Why did Drake decide to cross the line and make this war public? Insiders point to one specific incident, a massive endorsement deal that Drake believed he had locked down with a global brand. At the last minute, the deal allegedly slipped away, only to reappear under PG Lang's banner, with a Roc Nation executive rumored to have brokered the switch. To Drake, that wasn't just business. That was war. The betrayal cuts deeper when you remember how close Drake has historically been to Jay-Z. Yes, their relationship has been rocky, from pound cake to light up to the subtle shade in interviews. But there was always an unspoken respect. If Roc Nation really played a role in sabotaging Drake's business, then this isn't just industry drama. It's personal, and Kendrick, he's been quiet, as always, letting the world speculate. But fans are already reading this lawsuit as Drake's desperate attempt to drag Kendrick's camp down after losing the cultural war. Could this be Drake's way of saying, if I'm going down, I'm taking all of you with me? Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't just background noise. This is the prelude to an industry earthquake. Drake has declared war, and the battlefield is the courtroom. But in the court of public opinion, the war is already raging. Fans choosing sides, hashtags trending, and rumors spiraling faster than lawyers can respond. But here's the kicker. Insiders say there's a hidden clause in Drake's lawsuit, something not even the public filings reveal, something that, if true, could expose a betrayal so shocking it makes all the previous drama look like child's play. And when I tell you who's allegedly involved in that betrayal, you're not ready. Picture this. The glossy, polished walls of a downtown Toronto law office. It's late at night, but the lights are blazing. Drake sits at the head of a massive table, his legal team surrounding him, stacks of papers spread out like weapons on the battlefield. He isn't smiling. He isn't cracking jokes. He looks cold, determined. Because in his hands is the one thing that could flip the industry on its head. A lawsuit naming Roc Nation and PG Lang. That's right. No cryptic lyrics, no Instagram captions. Actual legal documents stamped, signed, and filed. The industry thought Drake would never dare go that far. But he just did. And what's inside those filings? According to insiders, it's a bombshell that connects dots fans have only guessed at in whispers. The lawsuit, we're told, accuses Roc Nation and PG Lang of intentional interference with business contracts and unlawful collusion designed to undermine OVO Sound and its affiliates. In simpler words, Drake is accusing them of conspiring against him. Not just beef, not just competition, a deliberate plot to choke his empire. But here's where it gets even messier. Attached to the lawsuit are what insiders are calling receipts. Leaked emails, signed agreements, and confidential memos. One alleged email between a Roc Nation exec and a PG Lang rep reportedly says, "We can't let him own the summer again. Shut him out." Divert the funds, if this is real, and that's a big if. It could prove that the biggest players in hip-hop have been working behind the scenes to stop Drake's dominance. Fans thought the Kendrick vs. Drake beef was lyrical. But what if it was financial all along? According to those close to the case, Drake's lawyers claim that a multi-million-dollar brand deal with Nike, one Drake believed was secured, was allegedly redirected toward PG Lang, with Roc Nation brokering the behind-the-scenes switch. Imagine the humiliation. Drake, the longtime Nike ambassador, being undercut by the very camp of his greatest rival. To him, that wasn't business. That was betrayal at the highest level, and it didn't stop there. The lawsuit alleges that multiple festival slots, sponsorship opportunities, and even playlist placements were manipulated to Drake's disadvantage. Think about that. Drake, the man who built an empire on streaming dominance, now claiming that even his songs were deliberately buried while PG Lang's artists were pushed to the top. But let's pause here. Why would Roc Nation and PG Lang risk such a dangerous move? According to one alleged insider memo cited in the lawsuit, the motive was clear: to consolidate cultural dominance by weakening overexposed competition. Translation? Drake was too big, too powerful, and too commercial. If true, this wasn't just about money. It was about legacy, control, and rewriting the story of hip-hop. Now here's where the first major twist rips the floor out from under everyone. The lawsuit doesn't just name Roc Nation and PG Lang, it names a third entity quietly hidden in the fine print. An international entertainment conglomerate with deep ties to both Roc Nation and PG Lang. Insiders whisper it could be Live Nation. Yes, Live Nation. The global giant that controls most of the tours, concerts, and festivals in the world. If Drake really just accused Live Nation of conspiring with his rivals to sabotage him, this isn't just an artist beef anymore. This is potentially a billion-dollar war with global consequences. And here's the wild part. Live Nation hasn't said a word. Silence, no denial. No statement, nothing. Which only fuels the fire that maybe, just maybe, Drake has the receipts to back this up. Now imagine the ripple effects. If Drake proves his case, then every artist who's ever complained about being blackballed, every rapper who's whispered about gatekeepers and industry politics, suddenly has the smoking gun. And Roc Nation, PG Lang, and Live Nation, their reputations could collapse overnight. But if Drake fails, if this lawsuit is seen as desperate, paranoid, or fabricated, his empire could crumble just as fast. Imagine the headlines. Drake exposed as liar. Fabricated lawsuit destroys career. He could go from being the world's most dominant rapper to the industry's biggest cautionary tale. And fans? They're already choosing sides. Twitter timelines filled with hashtags like Drake vs the world and Roc Nation exposed. Some defending Drake, claiming he's finally brave enough to expose what artists have whispered about for years. Others clowning him, saying this is just a meltdown because Kendrick won the cultural war, but the lawsuit's first hearing date has already been leaked. And the location? Not Toronto, not LA, New York City. The same city where Roc Nation is headquartered. The same city where Jay-Z built his empire. The symbolism couldn't be louder. Drake is walking straight into Jay's backyard to fight this war, and that's when the first real shock hit the public. Because on the leaked court calendar, right under Drake versus Roc Nation and PG Lang, there was another name listed, Sean Carter. That's right, Jay-Z himself. The lawsuit doesn't just accuse Roc Nation as a company. It names Jay-Z as a direct defendant. Yes, you heard that right. Drake has officially declared legal war on Jay-Z. The hip-hop world froze. Fans couldn't believe it. Jay-Z and Drake have had their icy moments, their subtle shots in songs, but to see Jay-Z's government name tied into a legal battle with Drake, it felt unthinkable. And yet here it was, in black and white, but why? Why would Drake make it personal? According to one insider close to OVO, Drake feels betrayed at the highest level. Jay was supposed to be an ally, a mentor figure. Instead, Drake allegedly believes Jay pulled strings to keep him out of billion-dollar opportunities. To Drake, it's not just business and it's personal treachery. And fans? They're already buzzing with theories. Did Jay-Z secretly back Kendrick in the ongoing feud? Did he use his Roc Nation clout to block Drake's deals? And if so, what does this mean for the future of hip-hop, where power and influence often outweigh raw talent? The industry is buzzing, the papers are filed, and the courtroom is set. But here's the thing no one saw coming. Attached to Drake's lawsuit is an unsealed audio recording that insiders say could destroy reputations if played in court. And who's allegedly speaking on that recording? Not just Roc Nation execs, not just PG Lang reps, but a voice that fans swear sounds eerily like Jay-Z himself. If that tape is real, then Drake isn't just throwing accusations. He's holding dynamite. But the question is, will he light the fuse? If you thought naming Roc Nation, PG Lang, and Jay-Z was the end of Drake's madness, you haven't seen anything yet. Because the moment those court documents leaked online, the story mutated into something far darker than a simple lawsuit. Within hours, social media was on fire. Screenshots of the supposed email leaks circulated like wildfire, hashtags trended in every country, and fans began piecing together what looked like a decades-long conspiracy. People weren't just saying Drake was fighting for his career. They were whispering that he was fighting for his life. And then it happened. An anonymous account dropped a thread on Twitter, 20 tweets long, each more jaw-dropping than the last. The account, under the handle Industry Shadow Leaks, claimed to have obtained audio recordings that proved Drake's allegations weren't just paranoia. The thread hinted at midnight meetings, coded language in contracts, and chilling references to neutralizing the OVO threat. Fans immediately flooded the comments. Neutralizing? That sounds like they're plotting against him for real. If this is true, Drake's been set up for years. No wonder he went legal. This isn't beef. This is sabotage. But the most explosive part of the thread wasn't just the claims. It was the voice note, a 27-second clip uploaded anonymously. The quality was grainy, but the voices were unmistakable. A man sounding eerily like Jay-Z allegedly says, "He's too greedy, too visible." Let Kendrick carry the culture. We just need to box him out. And another voice, fans swear it matches Dave Free of PG Lang, responds, done. He won't see it coming. The internet froze. If real, this was the smoking gun. If fake, it was one of the dirtiest hoaxes ever pulled in hip-hop history. Drake's camp stayed silent. No denial, no confirmation. Just silence, which, in the court of public opinion, spoke louder than words. Fans flooded OVO's comment sections with fire emojis, praying hands, and messages like, "Stay strong, King, expose them all." Meanwhile, Roc Nation's official socials posted a cryptic message. Truth always rises. No names, no details, just a chilling calmness that felt less like defense and more like a warning. PG Lang went even colder. Kendrick reposted a fan video of himself performing King Kunta with the caption, "Still untouchable." No direct mention of Drake, but everyone knew what it meant. But here's the kicker. Insiders leak that the lawsuit contains a sealed exhibit that hasn't been released publicly yet, an alleged contract addendum tying Roc Nation, PG Lang, and Live Nation to a mysterious joint venture. The name on the contract? Project Silence. According to whispers, Project Silence was a coordinated effort to minimize Drake's dominance in 2024 and 2025 by cutting off revenue streams, blackballing him from major sponsorships, and controlling festival slots. If true, that's not just industry politics, and that's organized suppression. And if a judge decides this crosses into antitrust violations, we're talking billion-dollar consequences and possible criminal charges. The story spiraled. Further, when TMZ claimed to have obtained exclusive confirmation that several executives named in Drake's lawsuit have already hired crisis PR firms. That's not a move you make unless you're worried the receipts are very, very real. And then came the second shocking reveal. Buried in page 147 of the leaked filing, fans spotted a name that sent shivers across the culture. Noah 40 Shabib, Drake's closest collaborator. His brother in arms since day one. The man who built the OVO sound with him. Why was 40's name in the filings? At first, people panicked. Was Drake accusing his own producer of betrayal? But no, the opposite. The lawsuit claims that 40 was directly approached by industry execs, allegedly tied to Roc Nation and PG Lang, offering him millions to distance himself from Drake and pivot towards socially conscious projects. If this is true, it means they weren't just coming for Drake's business. They were trying to dismantle his inner circle, piece by piece. The betrayal, the whispers, the idea that 40 himself was almost pried away. Fans were in shock. Some claimed this proved Drake's paranoia was justified. Others accused him of dragging innocent people into his war. But one thing was clear. The lawsuit wasn't just paperwork. It was dynamite, and the aftershocks hit instantly. Spotify quietly pulled one of their curated rap power playlists that had heavily featured Kendrick and Jay-Z. Apple Music dropped an oddly timed banner of Drake's God's Plan the same night. Were these coincidences? Or proof that the streaming giants were already hedging their bets in case the allegations stuck? But the most jaw-dropping moment came when a reporter outside the courthouse claimed to have overheard Drake himself saying to his lawyers, "If they want war, I'll bring the tapes." The tapes. Everyone froze. What tapes? What recordings? And more importantly, who's on them? Suddenly, fans began speculating that Drake had been quietly recording phone calls, meetings, maybe even conversations with executives. If true, the next court hearing could be less about contracts and more about raw audio exposing the darkest secrets of hip-hop's elite. But the drama didn't stop there. Because just as fans were losing their minds over the idea of Drake having secret tapes, another twist dropped. An alleged court insider leaked to gossip blogs that Beyoncé's name appears in the redacted sections of the lawsuit. Yes, Beyoncé, the queen herself. Not as a defendant, but allegedly mentioned in emails about protecting brand reputation at all costs. If her name is really tied to this mess, even peripherally, then we're talking about fallout on a global scale. Imagine the headlines: Drake versus Beyoncé and Jay-Z in court. The Bayhive would go nuclear. The internet would collapse. And right now, that possibility is hanging in the air like a guillotine waiting to drop. The escalation is out of control. What started as Drake versus Kendrick is now snowballing into Drake versus the entire establishment. Roc Nation, PG Lang, Live Nation, and maybe even the Carter Empire. But here's the terrifying question fans keep asking. What if Drake actually wins? What if he proves the conspiracy is real? What if Project Silence is exposed to the world? Because if he does, then the industry we know will never look the same again. And yet in the shadows, another rumor is circling. A rumor that could make all of this 10 times worse. Insiders whisper that someone very close to Drake is preparing to flip sides. Someone we never thought would betray him. But who? The second the lawsuit hit the public, social media turned into a battlefield. Fans, celebrities, bloggers, even politicians, everyone had an opinion, and the noise was deafening. Drake's decision to take on Roc Nation, PG Lang, and possibly even Jay-Z himself wasn't just shocking. It was polarizing, and the world was split right down the middle. On Twitter, hashtags exploded. Were Drake declares war, were Roc Nation exposed, and Protect Kendrick all trended simultaneously. Fans posted memes of Drake in gladiator armor, walking into an arena surrounded by lions labeled Jay-Z, Kendrick, and Live Nation. Others mocked him, posting crying emojis with captions like, "When you lose the rap beef, so you call your lawyer." But then came the celebrity reactions. Meek Mill, once Drake's biggest rival, now occasional collaborator, shocked fans when he tweeted, "Can't even lie. A lot of us been through that gatekeeper-s and I believe, bro." That one line poured gasoline on the fire. If Meek, who has his own rocky history with Roc Nation, was backing Drake's claims, maybe this wasn't just paranoia. Maybe it was a pattern. Meanwhile, J. Cole, famously close with both Kendrick and Jay-Z, posted a cryptic Instagram story. Sometimes the truth ain't for everybody to hear. But the silence be louder than words. Fans dissected it endlessly. Was he siding with Kendrick? Was he hinting Jay-Z's silence meant guilt? Or was he warning Drake to stop? Then came Charlemagne the God on The Breakfast Club. He didn't mince words. If Drake really got tapes of these dudes plotting against him, that's the biggest bomb in hip-hop history. Bigger than Ether, bigger than Takeover. But if he don't, he's finished. Simple as that. Industry insiders also began whispering about ripple effects. Promoters feared upcoming festivals could implode if the lawsuit expanded. Sponsors worried about their reputations being tied to either side. According to one fake but juicy leaked memo from a major beverage brand, executives were already debating whether to pull their partnership with Roc Nation until the dust settled. And then came the fans. The Drake hive flooded TikTok with videos defending him. Some stitched old interviews of Jay-Z claiming they spotted shade toward Drake years ago. Others compiled clips of Kendrick dismissing Drake's artistry, now reframing them as proof of a larger agenda. One viral TikTok theory claimed Kendrick's last album rollout had suspiciously perfect timing with Drake's delayed projects, suggesting backroom sabotage. That video alone racked up 20 million views in 24 hours with comments like, "They've been trying to bury Drake," but the backlash was equally loud. The Kendrick stans dragged Drake mercilessly. One trending thread titled "Drake the Snitch" accused him of hiding behind lawyers instead of handling beef on wax. Another post read, "Imagine losing a rap battle so bad you sue the man's company," and Roc Nation loyalists, they weren't quiet either. A well-known music journalist tweeted, "If Drake's got proof, drop it. Until then, this just looks like a spoiled superstar crying wolf." But the reactions that truly shook fans came from unexpected corners of the industry. Tory Lanez, speaking from prison through a leaked phone call, allegedly said, "They all snakes. I told y'all this industry don't love nobody. Maybe now Drake sees it too." That clip went viral in seconds. Fans screaming about how even Tory was chiming in. Then came the fake CNN headline circulating on Twitter. Congresswoman asks DOJ to monitor hip-hop antitrust claims. Obviously exaggerated, but believable enough to stir panic. Could this lawsuit really open the door for government intervention in the music industry? The idea sent shivers through executives and fans alike. But here's where it got even crazier. Fans began targeting Beyoncé after her name surfaced in the redacted sections of the filing. The Bayhive went into defense mode, swarming anyone who dared drag her into the mess. One fan tweeted, "Keep the Queen's name out your mouth. Drake gonna regret this." But others weren't so sure. Rumors of Beyoncé's name being tied to protecting brand reputation sparked conspiracy theories that she knew more than she let on. Meanwhile, financial analysts weighed in, noting that Live Nation stock dipped slightly after the lawsuit news broke. That tiny movement was enough for fans to scream, "See?" The market knows it's real. But the most terrifying reaction came from within the industry itself. An anonymous record exec told Page Six, "If Drake really opens Pandora's box and the government starts sniffing around, a lot of careers are over. He's either the biggest hero hip-hop ever had, or the dumbest." The war of narratives raged on, each side convinced they were right. Some fans begged Drake to drop the alleged tapes immediately, saying it would cement his legacy forever. Others urged him to stop, warning that dragging the Carters and Kendrick into a legal firestorm could turn the entire industry against him permanently. But here's the chilling part. Late last night, screenshots leaked of a supposed text from an unknown number to Drake's phone. It simply read, "You're making a mistake. This isn't just about music. Back down or you'll regret it." Was it fake? A clout-chasing stunt? Or a real threat? Either way, fans went into full-blown panic, convinced Drake's safety might now be at risk. And while the internet debated, while fans screamed, while sponsors scrambled, one question echoed louder than all the noise. Who will betray Drake next? Just when the world thought the lawsuit couldn't get any uglier, the final twist crashed down like thunder. Late last night, court reporters confirmed that a sealed document in Drake's lawsuit had been accidentally unsealed for a brief window of 17 minutes. That was all it took. Screenshots flew across the internet before the court scrambled to pull it offline. And what fans saw inside? It was the nuclear bomb nobody saw coming. Because buried in those documents was the name of someone so unexpected, so close to Drake, that the betrayal felt like a knife straight through the chest. The filing suggested that one of Drake's own OVO affiliates had secretly cooperated with Roc Nation attorneys. The name? Chubbs. Yes, Chubbs. Drake's lifelong friend, his right-hand enforcer, the man who was supposed to ride or die with him forever. The papers alleged that Chubbs attended at least 2 off-record meetings with Roc Nation intermediaries in 2024, where confidential information about Drake's upcoming business plans was discussed without authorization. The internet lost its mind. Could it be real? Could Drake's most loyal friend have flipped sides? Within minutes, Diker Chubbs trending was at the top of Twitter. Fans dug through old photos, videos, even past interviews searching for signs of betrayal. Some swore Chubbs had been looking distant in recent months. Others claimed this was all a setup, a smear campaign planted in the filings to divide OVO from within. But here's the scariest part. Drake hasn't denied it. No statement. No comment. Just silence. And silence is louder than denial. Meanwhile, an anonymous industry mole leaked to blogs that Drake allegedly has video evidence of the betrayal. The mole claimed there's security footage of Chubbs entering a private meeting room in Manhattan with a Roc Nation executive, footage that Drake supposedly has but hasn't released yet. If that's true, then the ultimate betrayal isn't just on paper. It's on camera. The fallout was immediate. OVO fans wept online. One viral TikTok sobbed, "If Chubbs flipped, Drake has nobody left." This ain't just a lawsuit. This is war inside his own house. But the betrayal wasn't the only twist. Alongside Chubbs' name, the unsealed doc included another chilling phrase, Phase 2 pending. Phase 2 pending. Nobody knows what Phase 2 means. Is it another lawsuit? Another set of tapes waiting to be dropped? Or worse, a counterattack from Roc Nation and PG Lang that could annihilate Drake's case? Theories flooded in. Phase 2. Jay dropping a diss album to end him. Phase 2 is Kendrick suing Drake back. Phase 2 is Live Nation blacklisting every OVO artist from touring. No one knows, but everyone is scared. And then, as if things weren't insane enough, Kendrick posted one single tweet. Just one word, checkmate, no emojis. No hashtags, just that. Within minutes, the internet melted. Fans screamed it was confirmation that Kendrick knew Phase 2 was coming. Others begged Drake to release his alleged tapes before it was too late. But perhaps the most haunting moment came not from Twitter, not from Instagram, but from Drake himself. At 3 a.m., he posted a blurry black and white picture of himself standing in front of a courthouse door, captioned simply, "The truth will hurt." And then he went dark. No more posts, no appearances, just silence. Now the world waits. Will Drake really expose the tapes? Will the betrayal of Chubbs be proven real? What is Phase 2, and who is about to get destroyed next? Because if this is only the beginning, then hip-hop is standing on the edge of its bloodiest war yet. So here we are, the hip-hop world in absolute chaos. Drake has declared war. Roc Nation and PG Lang have been dragged into the courtroom. Jay-Z himself is now named Project Silence is looming. And Chubbs, the man everyone thought was OVO for life, might have just betrayed the very empire he swore to protect. And if that wasn't enough, Kendrick's cryptic checkmate tweet has fans convinced that Phase 2 is already in motion. But the real question is, where does this leave you, the fans? Because this isn't just a story unfolding in courtrooms and boardrooms. This is a war that's playing out live, in real time, on your feeds, your playlists, your timelines. And the sides are already being chosen, so I want to hear from you. Do you believe Drake is the hero finally exposing the dirty secrets of the industry? Or is this the desperate move of a superstar who's losing control? Do you think Roc Nation and PG Lang actually orchestrated a conspiracy to silence him? Or is this just another overblown stunt? And most importantly, what do you think Phase 2 really means? Is Kendrick about to drop the deadliest diss of all time? Is Jay-Z preparing a legal counterattack? Or is Drake about to unleash tapes that will end careers forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because this isn't the end of the story. It's just the beginning. And trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. Make sure you smash that like button, because every tap pushes this story further into the spotlight. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you're the first to know when the next bombshell drops. And share this video with your friends, because debates like this belong everywhere, from the group chat to the timeline. Hip-hop has never faced a war this big, this messy, or this dangerous. Drake says the truth will hurt. But the question is, who's going to bleed first? Stay tuned. The next chapter is coming.